It's an amazing story. Amazing, right? And then you remember the story we covered on the show where the guy sued his wife because it turns out she had plastic surgery.
Yes.
And she was ugly before, he claims. Kind of right. But she tricked him, and so the kids came out ugly. He sued her for ugly kids.
Yeah.
Now you think that guy? Do you think that guy isn't going to do DNA testing to figure out what you look like or what your real situation is?
Right.
So this is just the tip of the iceberg with the immunity and all that stuff, and the immune system and the serotonin, right? But he's going to be like, give me a little breakdown of what she actually looks like.
I'm just amused at like the thought of how people will assume that someone with high serotonin levels are going to be the most pleasant, right? Because they're always going to be super happy. But then I thought about how obnoxious extremely happy people are. Like I think about myself in the mornings when I first wake up. Like my serotonin levels are freaking spiking at that point. I'm the biggest morning person ever. And
That's super nice.
Extremely obnoxious.
Right.
Like if you ever look at my Facebook or Instagram posts in the morning, they're always super positive and peppy. And people hate them. So don't be fooled by extremely happy, peppy people. It'll probably drive you crazy.
Well, and if you're going to do the testing, you might want to do it in the morning, right?
Yes.
Kids. I happen to think my serotonin levels are pretty high. I'm a generally happy guy, but I'm not as annoying as her, so you never know. You know what you might want to do?
Not as annoying. He's always super fun to do.
Super fun. Super fun. You know what you might want to do? Actually go on the fucking date. Okay, that might help. You might find out what the person's actually about instead of some computer being like, bloop, 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 bloop. This person does not compute, do not date them. Come on, it's absurd.
If you need a vehicle for your small business, or even if you think you don't, I invite you to join me. The right tool can improve your productivity, trim your costs, and open doors, 2 sliding doors, to possibilities you never thought existed. You'll not only own the business, you'll own the work. The numbers don't lie. Come see what that means for your bottom line.
There's a mystery taking place on the Brooklyn Bridge. Apparently, in the middle of the night, 5 individuals went to the Brooklyn Bridge, took down 2 American flags, and then proceeded to raise 2 white flags. Now, the NYPD is really worried about this because they're worried that, hey, you know what? If somebody slipped through security and was able to do this, what if there was a terrorist attack? What if there was an attempt to carry out a terrorist attack? Now, one New York police officer says the following: we're lucky they just put a flag up there, not a bomb. It's an embarrassment.
Sure, I guess that's true, but we could also use a little calming down. I mean, yes, of course, you should improve security. And these dudes did it around 3 o'clock in the morning.
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they climbed a lock gate. They scaled the bridge cable to reach the top of the stone pillars. They used these rectangular aluminum cooking pans fastened with zip ties to cover the lights. So the lights go out for a little while. They get up there. And then the flag is actually an American flag. They just bleached it so that you can see the stars and stripes if you took it down. You look closely enough. So I like how one person was like worried. They said, well, you know, we don't think it's a terrorist attempt. We just think that maybe it's an art project. Oh, really?
It's like, based on what? Honestly, right now, details are slim, like skim. Like, we don't have much, right? So I don't know where they got that idea. They're just like, no, it was an art project, seriously. I honestly don't think it was a terrorist attack, because if it was, they would have caused more damage. You know, like, what is this?
What, are they like terror artists? No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is. Obviously, nobody does. But it's not a terrorist attack. Right. Terrorists like they were on top of the bridge. They could have put a bomb, right? Like the cop said. Instead, they planted a flag. It looks to me like some sort of political statement. And now people are speculating, you know, is this a ceasefire? You've got the Gaza conflict. Is this referring to that? I have no idea. The guys who did it are definitely ballsy. I'll give them that.
They are ballsy. I mean, very bad things could happen to them in the future, or could have happened to them if they got caught in the process of doing that, right?
It's the Brooklyn Bridge. It's inconceivable that it wasn't a hipster. The person who did it is a hipster. Why they did it, I don't know. They're hipsters. Who can figure them out anyway?
Yeah. They're weird. I want them to get off our lawns.
Now, here we go to the border. I'm told by Fox News 24 hours a day, there's a crisis at the border. Now, there is an issue. Over 50,000 kids from Central American countries have come here. I think that it actually is partly because of a misunderstanding of our laws. You actually already had to be here if you're going to be a kid who's allowed to take advantage of the DREAM Act and go to college if you did really well or join the military. You can't just show up and say, okay, I'd like to take advantage of that. That's not how it works. That might be part of the reason they came. Of course, another part of the reason is because there's tremendous violence in some of those countries because of the brilliant war on drugs that we've made the entire continent take part in. But they're here nonetheless. So what are the Republicans going to do? First of all, of course, they're going to demonize them, and then they're going to get tough. So Bill O'Reilly has talked about building a wall along the whole nearly 2,000-mile border that we have with Mexico. He says, what? We did the Berlin Wall, and that worked. By the way, we didn't do it. The East Germans did it. You know, remember, they were the bad guys. And that wall was a little over 80 miles. He'd like to build a 2,000-mile wall. Okay, great. And then Rick Perry says, you know what, I'm going to send 1,000 National Guard troops there. But there's already a border patrol. So what do you... In fact, the local sheriffs in Texas said it was a political stunt and totally unnecessary. Well played, Rick Perry. That's what they do, of course. So now the House Republicans get into the mix, and they say that they're going to send more National Guard to the border. And Obama requested $3.7 billion to take care of this problem, partly for more security and partly to move this process along quicker to send the kids back. They're like, oh, of course not. We're not going to give you $3.7 billion. So we're not going to give you the money to fix the problem, but we're going to send more National Guard and guns and weapons and walls, yes! Now that sounds like overkill, perhaps. Wait till you get a little Fox News. Now they've got some 911 calls of undocumented immigrants coming into the